Here we are, Jimmy Rollins, Ryan Howard, welcoming you all to our new podcast, the 611, where we like to go inside of player stories. We want to give these guys, former players, current players, people that have nothing to do with baseball, the opportunity to express themselves and share their stories, maybe in a different way that they have before. So we're looking forward to bringing to you this new podcast with my man, Ryan Howard, who is the voice. And when you hear him speak, you'll see why.
Illustrious intro. As you can see, this is what I've had to deal with over 13 plus years. And I've had the honor of being next to this man on the field. And now I have the honor of being next to this man on the microphone. So what you're going to have with this 611 podcast is we're going to have a lot of fun because that's all we know how to do. We just going to be ourselves. We're going to be Jimmy from the Bay and Ryan from the STL, baby, because that's what we do. I'm just a laid back cat from the Midwest, baby. That's all it is. We're going to get on here. We're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to have some great, interesting guests for you guys to allow them to come out, share their stories, as Jimmy mentioned, and we're going to have fun doing it. So it's going to be 611. Jimmy, why 611?
It's because my man here wore number 6, now wore number 11. And together, when we get together, it's always, actually, I don't know what it always is, but people always find it interesting. So we like to bring that out in our guests. You never know what we're going to get because we don't even know what we're going to bring to the table that day. We just show up and it comes out naturally. When you got a partner like Ryan with you, magic happens.
I'm going to give my spiel on the number 6. I grew up wearing number 6. It was one of the numbers I wore when I was a little kid. Yes, I was little Jimmy. And then when I got to the big leagues, my first number was 12. As soon as 6 was available, I went to 6. And that's where, I just wore the number 6. It fit, it worked. Number 6, 2006, big year. So we ran with it.
I did not know that. See, I'm learning about my partner. That's the beauty of the show. You put a mic in front of somebody and they just open up and tell you things that you've never known about them. So that's what you're going to get from the 611 podcast, a play on the 411, getting information, extracting things. But when you just let people talk, you really get to find out who they are. When you provide that environment where they can be comfortable in their shoes and you can build that trust, they'll tell you things about them that maybe they haven't told before. So we're looking for those stories. We're looking forward to bringing you to 611, Ryan Howard, Jimmy Rollins. Let's get it.
So as we kick off our first 611 podcast, we're going to kick it off with the big lil homie because we got the big homie.
There you go.
AKA OG Triple OG, Young James.
Say it again.
Here,
say it again, Ryan.
AKA OG Triple OG, Young James. Over here. We're going to kick it off with CC Sabathia. We're going to tackle things on the past, the present, and the future, and what he's doing and how he's going about it. So we're looking forward to get out here, go talk to my man CC. Looking forward to getting out there.
Jimmy Rollins is now the franchise leader in base hits. Ryan Howard has completed an improbable come from behind victory.
We here. We are in here with the big little homie, CC. You know what I'm saying? For real, the big. I'm the little homie, but I'm the big homie. I'm the eldest. I'm the senior.
You are.
You know, at this thing. But it's great to be here with you today. Big Peace Rye, CC. Go way back, like fish sticks and Cadillacs. You know what I'm saying? Oh man, I met you through my brother Antoine. And I didn't think you were going to play baseball. I really didn't. I'm like, this big talented kid, there's no way in the world you're going to play baseball. Why would you? But you made that decision. What was that? Why baseball over? I mean, you could have played basketball, you could have played football, but you chose baseball.
I always loved baseball. Like it was, I loved to play, the other sports. I played soccer too, but baseball was just always the easiest. You know what I'm saying? Like it was not the easiest in the way to play, but just the easiest the way my mind worked. Like I always knew what bases to throw to. I knew how to hit behind runners, like little things like nobody ever taught you, but you just kind of know as a baseball player kind of came to me. So it was just those little fundamentally things that like I always had to work harder at football. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I always had to work harder at basketball, but like baseball, the shit just fell into place all the time.
Right.
So it was seamless. And growing up in Vallejo, I tell people this all the time, like, I played with nothing but like kids from my neighborhood.
Right,
like,
right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like it was all of us playing baseball together. So, I remember like one of my best friends now, he moved from Richmond and moved to Vallejo. And we were in the second grade. And I remember me and my boy Dave Bernstein, we ran up to him and was like, what's your name? He was like, my name is Jason. We was like, you play baseball? And he was like, nah. And we was like, we can't fuck with you. You know what I'm saying? Like that early, like 9 years old, like this is what we do.
Like, what, if you're not doing this, what you doing?
Yeah, like, and he ended up signing up for baseball, and he was the homie. You know what I'm saying? So it was just in our blood. And yeah, I mean, I love the other sports, but baseball was just in my heart.
I find it crazy to see, like, were you always big? Bigger?
Yeah.
So to sit here and hear you say that baseball was the easiest.
You were always a big, or you spelled
I was like the bigger kid.
So y'all got that in common.
Yeah. But I didn't play football growing up.
Were you one of the biggest kids, or were you the biggest kid?
I was a bigger kid.
Yeah.
I was one of the bigger kids. Like my twin brother played with me growing up. So he was always taller than me, but like I was like, you know, a little more pot belly.
I was always like that. My mom had to travel with my birth certificate.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
They thought you was cheating.
Yeah.
Right.
She always thought I was a year up, and we were playing 10U. They were like, oh, he's fucking 12.
See, that's because he had the same beard that he had now back then when he was like 12 years old.
What's crazy is that's why I asked you that. I wasn't the biggest kid.
Right.
I was like the fourth biggest kid in my little league.
Right.
Which is nuts. But yeah, so my mom always had to travel with my birth certificate.
That's crazy.
That's
bro.
crazy.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
I will say this, like growing up kind of being one of the bigger kids, like, and being able to go and play and doing all that kind of stuff, bro. Yeah, you do get questioned a lot. Like, hey, it's because I did it. I know coaching my daughter's softball team, I'll be looking at some of these girls like, yo, bro, we got to check some birth certificates. This stuff
Give
is
that same
different.
shit, you a cold
Yeah, it's the same thing, bro. It's crazy.
You're doing my daughter
It's
like
crazy.
that.
It's crazy. It's crazy, bro.
Did
It's
the both
crazy.
of y'all play other sports growing up too?
So yeah, I played basketball. I played football, but that stopped in Pop Warner. Story around that. When we grew up, you played all sports. Whatever season it was, that's what you were doing. You weren't trying to specialize. It wasn't no penalty where you got to play for my fall team. If you're going to play for my summer team, play for my winter team. Nah, whatever sport was in, you played. So I was quarterback in football.
Wait a minute,
nobody could throw.
You were a quarterback?
First of all, I was the same height then as I am now. So I was good.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I was the same height. And nobody could throw. And I'm like, you know, I'm a Niner fan. I grew up watching Joe Montana, Jerry Rice. I'm like, give me the ball. Just run. Just run. And we had the fastest dude on the team, Jonathan Tatum, who was Jack Tatum's nephew, who played for the Raiders. And couldn't nobody see him. First play of the game was like a 45 post. It's like, I know where you're going. I'm just going to throw it out there because I know you can run under it. Nobody could keep up with him. So we did that until I got to high school. My fault. I don't know if they'd have let me play anyway, but my fault. I said, Mom, look, I'm tired. I'm playing basketball, football, baseball. There was no off season. And I'm just tired. And we're in football season. If we were in basketball season, I had this mindset, I probably wouldn't have played basketball. I would have played, but I would have said the same thing. I said, if we win this championship game, I'll quit football. We won a championship game. So now we're going to high school. Eighth grade.
Yeah.
So now we're going in high school, right? And so I'm out there at the field taking ground balls during football season with my dad because we know the baseball coach is the assistant football coach. So he just wanted to have him see me. He comes over. My dad's like, yeah, this is going to be your next shortstop. And he started laughing, right? And they're having a conversation. But I'm not even worried about their conversation. I'm looking at the field like, why in the hell are you playing baseball? Like, you the only fool out there playing baseball. It's football season.
Football season,
Straight up, though. You know, and I'm smelling the grass. I'm hearing the helmets. Clack, clack. I go get a permission slip. I was like, Dad, I need you to sign this permission slip so I could play football. It's like, oh, go ask your mom. I'm like, all right, cool. Didn't really think nothing of it. Go ask my mom. Mom, I need you to sign this permission slip to play football. Go ask your dad. I was like, he just told me to come ask you. And I looked at her, I already knew what was happening. She's like, baby, you remember that promise you made me that you would quit playing football if y'all won a championship? Before she said that, I really did not remember. But as soon as she said that promise, it was like, nope. She's like, well, I do. And that was it. I just wanted one Friday night. That was it. I just wanted to run out the smoke, break the banner, the cheerleaders, the whole nine.
I still get that feeling like in August when it's like football season, like just hearing like the crack of the helmets and shit. I'm like, damn, I miss football. But I was the reverse of you. So I didn't play Pop Warner. Like I was too fat. So they had the weight limit. So it was a weight limit.
You know
what I mean? So I was always over the weight limit. So that's why I played soccer. So I didn't start playing football until I was a freshman in high school. That was my first year. I went out as a freshman and
You were varsity as a freshman?
I was a varsity quarterback
but-
as a freshman. And I realized, like, if I just did conditioning for football, that's the only conditioning I got to do. Because football runs into basketball runs into baseball.
Right.
Exactly.
I ain't got to do no extra running. Like,
Right.
all I got to do is condition 2-a-days in August and I'm good. Like, so I played all 3 all the way through because I was lazy and didn't want to do conditioning.
Because he was lazy.
Right, because he was lazy, yeah. Because see, I was like you, see, because I never played football at the Pop Warner levels. I played freshman and sophomore year. But
you were too big also?
No, my mom wouldn't let me play.
Oh, wow.
So, because my older brother had played Pop Warner and all that kind of stuff, and when he was growing, but then he didn't play in high school or anything like that. I wanted to play Pop Warner, but she wouldn't let me play. So we played baseball, basketball, soccer. Played that all the way up to and through high school. Stopped playing soccer in 8th grade. Man, I did marching band, bro.
You play soccer?
I did.
It makes sense because, Ryan, you can dance.
Well,
You know, see, you got some footwork too.
And you know what's crazy is like when you big like us, if you put your kid in soccer, they don't go through that awkward phase of like growing and like they feet. You know what I mean?
The footwork,
there was no awkward stage with me because I was always using my feet. Yeah. So basketball, like I had good footwork because I can play. You know what I'm saying? I've been playing soccer my whole life. So it works for kids that are bigger and are going to be a little uncoordinated.
I didn't. Well, there you go.
No,
lesson learned.
It is.
If you're a big kid, play soccer.
Yeah. That's the first sport you should play.
If you shorty like me, you can do whatever.
Yeah, bro. Then, hey, Akeem Olajuwon, bro.
Yeah,
That's true.
Tim Duncan.
Yeah, like a lot of cats, bro.
Through high school.
Yeah, a lot of body control.
Yeah.
A lot of body control that way.
As Callis say, major key. Major key, know that.
Indeed.
But that brings us here, C. It's been an honor all the years playing against you. We got you. And you got us.
Yeah, yes.
You know, you got us on the big stage. And this one thing I can't say, just, you know, between, you know, some Bay Area kids and, you know, Roy, we love you too, dog. That all of us that made it up got a ring.
Yeah.
We got a ring.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Trail was first, and he was the baby.
Yeah.
Trail was first with the Marlins, and we got ours in 08, and you got yours in 09.
And then even Pat Burrow, you know what I'm saying? Like even Pat. Yeah.
Simeon got one last
X-Nigga
year.
was on 09 team.
Yeah.
Did y'all's paths ever cross
Nah.
playing against each other?
No,
or did you play against like D-Train or?
No, because so we all 2 years apart. So
Okay.
Jimmy's 2 years older than me, and
Trail
I'm 2
is-
years older than
yeah.
Trail.
Okay.
So Trail's 4 years older than Jim. We all played on the same team,
Right.
But just at
in the
different
same
just
organization,
different,
but just
yeah.
at different levels
Okay.
at different times. Me and Antoine, Jimmy's little brother, played
Hit
together.
doctor.
Yeah, hit
Yeah.
doctor.
Hit doctor.
Yeah, me and Twan grew up together, playing together all over the place. Whether it was NorCal, Junior Olympic World Series, like
okay.
all of that.
Olympics.
Like we played.
Do they
we
even
played
still
all
exist,
over.
Junior Olympics?
They don't have that anymore.
They don't, huh?
Nah, but I remember like the coaches used to come pick me and Twan and my cousin Joey up. It was just us three. Like it was us three. And the rest of the team was all white boys. We played in Sacramento.
At least y'all
And
had
I
three.
remember-
I was me.
No, yeah, you
I was
was. It was
just
just
me.
you. But I remember the very first day the coach came and picked us up. Twan got picked up first. Then me and Joey get in the car. Kind of a quiet ride. We riding all the way from my house to Sacramento. It's like 60 miles, like an hour. It's quiet. We get out there. It's just us three. You know what I'm saying? And this team has been playing together for years. Like, you know, they adding us three to the team. So we get there and nobody said a word to us. Like, we get there, we stretch, we warm up. No,
Nah,
like
for real.
nobody on the team said a word.
real.
We play catch, do whatever. This guy hits us first, second, and third. Like in the lineup on a team that's already like a great team, you know what I'm saying? Hits us first, second, and third. Joey leads off with a bunt single. Twan hits a double. And then I get up and hit a ball 500 feet. And then now everybody's our best friend. Now we good. Everybody's, oh, these guys are going to help us win. But I remember that very first day, like, and it was just, you know, but me and Twan went through that all the time where they was coming to pick us up and we going to play on these random teams and just like flying in to go win games.
Real.
Yeah.
For real. I was one. And that's in the Bay Area where we were rich in baseball.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm glad you brought that experience up. What was your experience like? You know, if you had that experience playing that travel ball and you showing up and it's like, bro, I'm one of one, I'm one of two. In this situation, one of three.
If that, it was one of two, maybe, because it was myself and then my brother a lot of the times. And then we ran into a couple other black kids that were like twins, because I'm a twin.
Mm-hmm.
So wherever I was playing, my brother was playing. And then we ran into some other kids, two black twins. So we were on the team. And we basically, it was like us four until the two brothers had dropped off. So my brother and then my boy's brother dropped off. So then it was just us two. And it was all the way up through college, bro. It was like, once I got to college, and played. It was funny. I signed on late, went to Missouri State University. At the time, it was Southwest Missouri State. So we had a baseball meeting. I was basically a recruited walk-on. And get in the meeting, and I look over and I see another black dude, right? We look at each other. He's my boy to this day, bro. It was like that one movie, and we was like, I'm supposed to be the token black dude on this team, bro. What are you doing here, bro? Like, we were just looking at each other like, bro. But in our league, which was the Missouri Valley Conference, we recruited another kid, my boy Dante Brinkley. And we recruited him, and we had 3 black dudes. And at that time, we were the only 3 black dudes in the entire league.
Oh, wow.
At that time. So it was the norm, like growing up and being like one of one or one of two or one of 3
But that's what I'm saying, like,
on those competitive teams like
for
that.
For us, like growing up in the Bay, we all played. And that's what I'm
Everybody
saying.
played,
I don't think I would have played baseball had not the kids in my hood played.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like it wouldn't have been as attractive to me if I had to go somewhere outside of my hood to play baseball. That was the sport we played.
Right.
Like rich.
But I played, so where I grew up was more predominantly white area. So the baseball in that area was obviously it was better. Now I played basketball like on an all black basketball team that we would also switch over to baseball. Clearly, like that team baseball wise was not on the level of where I was playing like with my white teammates. But we all got out to play baseball because again, everything was seasonal.
Right.
So it was like, yo, you got to be doing something. If it's not basketball, and then it's baseball, and then it's whatever you would do in the fall. But like clearly it was one of those things to where I grew up, like that area where I grew up was where baseball basically reigned supreme. I mean, that area, y'all, I'm sure had a bunch of guys that came from the league to the league and winning and stuff. My rival high school, Max Scherzer went to one of the rival high schools out there. I went to school with David Freese. Like he was 2 years behind me. So you had talent coming out of St. Louis where normally you didn't have talent like that before.
Yeah.
You know, it was always Texas, California, Florida. Like we always got overlooked.
Yeah.
And people used to tell me all the time, man, well, actually, we had maybe 4 or 5 scouts consistently. We had a Ranger scout, a Brave scout, Philly scout, Giant scout that would come down.
So you playing for one of them 4 teams?
No Cardinal scouts, bro. And my school was 3 hours from St. Louis. None. Because they always looked at California and stuff. And I got the opportunity to hit one time with Albert and Mike Matheny and some guys and whatnot. And Marty Meyer, who was like, I think at the time he was like the head of minor leagues for the Cardinals or something like that. And he came in, he's like, man, how did we miss you? Like, it's like, bro, y'all never had any scouts, bro.
Yeah, that was
never.
the same thing with us with the Giants.
Yeah.
I remember the first time I saw you, I was like, damn. And then I faced you in spring training. We were in Winter Haven. I tell the story all the time. Man, I mean, because I never had problems with lefties. So I'm like, oh, it's a lefty. We
got to preface this though first.
I'm listening.
As we go into
tell us
it,
the story,
we got to preface this first because I remember we were in Winter Haven.
Yeah.
And I came up to see because they were like, I was like, who's starting today? It's like CC started. And I was like, all right, cool. I go up to see. I was like, C, bro, you pitching today? He's like, yeah, man. I was like, hey, bro. Don't be afraid, man. Like, give me at least one fastball. Bro, first pitch, ambush, took him out. First pitch fastball, bro. Took him out. He looked at me. I just kind of was like.
Straight set up.
But I mean, he did everything that day. And I remember it was the same thing like when I faced Robbie Cano for the first time. I was just like, it's a complete hitter because as a lefty, like I can see where I can get you out.
Right.
There was nowhere to get him out. You know what I'm saying? Like he hit that first pitch out and I was like, all right, let me try. Fastball away, hit the ball off the wall to left center. I'm like, Jesus, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
Next at bat, throw him a slider off the wall. I'm like, there's nowhere to get him out. You know what I'm saying? As a lefty, it was like, it was pretty crazy. Yeah, the coverage that you had.
No, man, it was one of those things. I always loved hitting against lefties. The one thing for me was I always stood off.
You liked hitting against lefties?
I did, bro.
Oh wow.
Because I was like,
I wish I would have known that shit.
But if you ever notice, like where I stood in the box. I stood way off
back.
The plate.
Yeah.
So it's like if you hit me, like you messed up.
Yeah.
But you had a 40-inch bat, bro.
Yeah, I did.
But
it never felt like you could reach that ball away, but you could.
But that's where it was.
Arrow.
I had to hit him with the okie doke because for me, like my go-to was trying to go gap to gap opposite field. So anything you try to throw me in, like, was basically middle.
Mhm.
Everything over the middle of the plate was
away.
Which
middle
makes
to
sense.
away.
Yeah.
So it allowed me to get my hands extended and go through. So it's like,
But
I
did you
just
like the
stand up.
ball in? You never liked the ball. Really
I didn't really like the ball
He
in.
never pulled.
I
He
feel like
never
most
pulled.
hitters don't really like the
I
ball
never
in.
like
You know what I'm
pulling.
saying? I mean,
I liked it. Man.
yeah, I mean, you and like
I'm
the
a
guys
little
with
man.
the quick hands like Chef or
Yeah.
whoever else. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
like for the most part, guys want the ball like out over the plate.
Right.
Get that
Right.
barrel extension.
Yeah.
But okay, here we go. See, we got a clip up here, man.
Oh.
I want you to look at this. We're gonna run it. This is World Series. Y'all up 2-1. Somebody's on first base.
What just happened?
See what happened.
What just happened? What just happened? Speed kills. Speed kills.
Oh, is that right? No way. Rewind that shit. No way.
Hey, I forgot to slide, bro.
Let me see.
Look at this jump. Here, you see the blatant disrespect.
I thought that was Goofy. I thought that was Jim.
You see the blatant disrespect. He ain't even looked in my direction, bro.
Hey, look
Throw
at
the
that.
fucking ball. What is he doing?
Look,
he
look
couldn't
at G.
believe it either.
Even G got a late break.
Hilarious.
G got a
That's
late break.
crazy.
He got a late break,
the funny
bro.
part is,
Funny.
none of us remembered that.
I didn't even remember it.
I wouldn't
I
remember
never
that. I
remembered
wouldn't
that.
remember that.
He was like, it's still off a
Absolutely
C.
not.
I'm like, when? I'm like, when he's with
That's what I said.
Milwaukee?
Right. I was like,
this
huh?
World Series?
Bro,
Come on.
because at this
Crazy.
point, because this was what? Game
This is game four.
Game four?
Yeah.
Okay. Because obviously, like,
Was that the game
Chase-
they cheated and said A-Rod hit the home run?
That ball went
Was
out.
it? That's
That
the one
ball
that-
hit
this
the
one they
camera.
cheated?
That ball hit the camera.
The one that split camera out a foot in front of the fence. This the game? Okay. I just want to put
Look
that
at Charlie. Look at
on
Charlie.
record. Put that on
Charlie,
record.
Charlie was like, hey, you better be glad he's safe, son. You better be glad he made
The
it.
slide right there.
Man,
That's crazy.
that was it,
All right,
bro.
but now looking back at
Remember
that. Right. They, like, we hear about athletes that they can pull up any moment in the game,
Mhm.
plays,
Most of the time I
etc.
can.
How do we forget that Ryan Howard
Yeah.
I
stole
forgot.
second
Baseball.
standing up in the World Series?
I forgot, bro. I forgot. I should have slid right there, made it look even better right there, bro.
Yo,
But no
it's crazy
throw. That's
how
what
loud
happened.
was in there, like for those games, man. It was insane. I mean, it was even louder than 08. Like I remember going
Yeah.
in 08 and pitching in 08, but in the World Series in 09, it was crazy how loud
Yeah, man.
how loud it was. I remember that being the loudest place that I pitched in. I mean, I pitched in the Metrodome that I pitched in Anaheim that year, but when we got to Philly, it was crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
It was.
crazy.
It was one of those places to where just the complete atmosphere
Bro.
and just the rumblings of it all.
And I hadn't
Just-
been here long. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously,
Yeah,
it
yeah.
was my first year,
Right.
so I didn't know how close in proximity Philly was
Was
to
in
us.
New York,
like,
right.
yeah.
half the people in Jersey
That-
or
yeah,
Philly.
for
fucking-
real,
I
for
didn't
real.
know any
Right.
of that. It was
Right.
new to me. You know what I'm saying? So half my neighborhood's got Philly flags. I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But that was cool. It was cool to play against both of y'all, but it was even cool to have the World Series be Philly Yankees. you know?
Yeah, I love this taking that train ride up and down, getting off at MSG. You buses right there, and they looking at us like, okay,
Man,
you know what I'm saying? I'm
Yeah.
like, they knew we was something to play with, but if they could have had something in their hands and hit us over the head,
Nah,
they
they
would've.
would have.
Let me tell you,
We wouldn't have made it on the
the
bus.
scariest traveling I ever did. When we took the train to Philly after game 2, but we took the train the next morning, and we all had our families. I think Lil C was like 5. I don't even think Carter wasn't even born yet. Saya was 1. She was a baby, and I'm walking. I got Lil C's hand, and I got Saya, and everybody's got like bags and all that stuff. We come up the escalator in the train station in Philly, and the whole city was there. Like I didn't, you know what I'm saying? It was all Philly fans in there screaming and going nuts. Scared me to death. Like I wasn't prepared for that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't know that they was gonna get our bus, our train schedule and meet us at the train. Like
Right.
it was
Nah,
serious.
they was doing some
Hey,
scouting.
it was serious.
Yankee fans do research too.
It was serious.
They do.
Not like that.
Yankee
do.
fans do research
They
too.
do.
Boy, they be on you.
They
that was
do.
crazy.
They be on you.
Let's go back the year prior, right?
2008.
2008.
Great year.
We got a couple things.
Great
first.
year.
for y'all, motherfucker.
Great year. First off, I mean, tell me a little bit. Obviously we saw each other in 2008 in the in the postseason. I think you had pitched like the last 7 games in a row.
straight.
Coming into Philly because you had just come over,
Mhm.
right, and come to Milwaukee, and obviously help propel them to the spot that they were to be able to make the playoffs. I think for the first time in
Like 20-something years.
yeah, some 20 some odd years.
Let me pause you for a second. And in that short run, what he did was so incredible.
So incredible.
he was considered for MVP.
Oh, no, absolutely. Absolutely. That's what I'm saying.
I mean, in less than half a season. That's how incredible it was. I just want to make that doesn't, go under.
I mean,
it was that dominant.
Look,
It was a good
not
run.
to take anything away from what the rest of the team did, but clearly, like, you coming over there, like, man, bro, you coming over there and basically you helped get them over the hump and were a very, very, the main reason, in my opinion, as to why they were able to do what they did. Because we were like, oh, CC's pitching on 3 days rest, like, for the third time in a week. Like,
For real.
like, what are we doing?
Real.
Yeah.
Like, he got, at some point, he got
We got to get him.
But
We got to get him.
It was really one pitch.
Yeah. So going back to 2008, and we're going to touch on, first off, let's touch on this.
I know where you're going.
Take us into the visiting dugout, the cheesesteak situation,
dog.
bro. Can you tell us a little bit about
I
that?
hadn't never been in the National League, right? So I didn't know you guys were that good. I'm gonna be completely honest. I didn't because we hadn't played y'all.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I didn't see y'all roster. I wasn't looking at y'all roster. So I didn't think that you guys were as good as you were. But yeah, first of all, the visiting clubhouse has the best cheesesteaks in Philly.
Period.
I don't know if y'all know that.
No, we do.
But 1,000,
We
hands
did.
down, that's the best cheesesteak
We did.
in the city.
By the way, we couldn't get them on the home side,
Right.
Because we knew what
You-
they knew. We
you
knew what
didn't
they
want
did.
them on the home side.
But that's the whole point.
You didn't want them
We'd
on
have
the
to
home
sneak.
side.
We'd have to sneak guys over, like, hey, tell them we want a cheesesteak for Jimmy, Ryan, and Shane.
Right.
We couldn't order. We couldn't get them.
No, they're the best.
For good reason.
Oh, no, but because they were fucking logs in your stomach. And we get to me, Prince, Corey Hart. We get to Philly. We feeling good. Like, we just, you know what I mean? Like, we just made the playoffs. We ordered so many cheesesteaks, bro. We couldn't even move.
How many did y'all take down?
I think we took down 28 in those 3 days. We were there for 3 days.
Didn't even think nothing of it.
Didn't think
nothing of it.
Nothing.
And couldn't move, bro. You can't move when you eat those things.
cannot.
When we came back the next year in 2009,
I heard.
Joe took him out the clubhouse.
I heard.
Joe took him out the clubhouse.
I heard.
Yeah. So I learned from my experience
trap.
the year before.
That trap.
Yeah.
And then y'all cheated on a damn home run. But we don't, it's whatever. It's in the books. It's in the book. They called it a home run. They say it's a home run.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Nah, yeah, that was crazy. Getting to Philly that year in 2008, and man, because like I said, I had never really been there and know. And yeah, we were just in a good mood and got a little too excited.
No, but y'all were good though.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were good.
Y'all was
we
solid.
were young though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That was a young
that was the
Brewers
key.
team.
Like
yeah.
we had got there the year prior, so like our first years now is like we know what it's like.
Mhm.
And that was you guys as a group getting together your first year, where it's like, yeah, you feeling good, and you turn around and it's like we're home already.
Yeah.
and it's a bad feeling. But on we're talking about the game that you pitched. Like we knew you were coming in on short rest, but that was no discount to us. We knew what we had to deal with. It's like he's doing this, one, on adrenaline, two, because he's saying I'm putting this team on my back, and everybody knows that. And not that stature has something to do with it, but with you being such a big person as in a personality, it's like if anybody can do it, he can. So we came in knowing we had our hands full, and then it comes really down to one inning, and one inning. And a big at bat by Brett Myers.
That's what
Yeah.
it was.
Yeah.
It was the Brett Myers at bat.
Brett Myers at bat. Walk us through that.
And I was exhausted, man. Like I was just like, do whatever you're gonna do. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm tired of you fouling balls off. Like just put the ball in play, hit a triple, hit a home run, give a fuck. Like I don't care. Like I was over it. You know what I'm saying? And when I get into that spot, is usually it was just like my train of thought. Like I was just gone. You know what I'm saying? Like, but that at bat, like I was exhausted. Like I really was. Like I was done after that, however many pitch at bat, and then I walked them.
10, 11
pitches or whatnot, yeah.
And then you came up. I don't even know what happened after that.
No, it was Shane. So which set the stage for Shane.
No,
you came up. You came up first. Yeah, you came up.
He came up.
Then I came up. Either I don't know if
I think you walked or something because the bases were loaded.
Yeah, the bases were loaded. Shane came up, whichever I went.
Shane was
and
in
then
second.
Shane was
in second
behind me.
Yeah, so I maybe even walked you.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
we went back
like,
to back.
I was, but that Brett Myers at bat, like it just killed me. Like I was out of gas.
Yeah.
Whatever gas I had left, that was whatever was gone.
So that was
after that at bat.
no
That
matter
was
what
up.
happened,
It was
like,
over.
after that inning,
Whatever.
it was over.
Yeah,
it was like
over.
I'm done.
I was done.
Because we knew
I was toast.
We knew like at that point because it set the stage for Shane to come up, and then obviously as you said, like Shane goes up, hits the grand slam, crowd's going crazy.
And I think that was an 0-2 pitch.
Yeah. Slider.
It was a
two-strike
pitch.
pitch. It just didn't get there.
Just, and that was the loudest I've ever heard it.
Oh, it was so loud. It was so loud. My heart just sunk. I knew it was over. Like,
right.
I'm not even trying to be funny, but like we were at that point where like I had to win win my game.
Yeah, you had to.
You know what I'm saying? So like if I didn't win that game, we not gonna win a game.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
we knew because we knew we were like, hey, if we can get CC,
it's over.
It's a wrap.
It's a wrap. We got everybody else.
We'll get these cats.
Yeah.
We will get these cats.
And I felt that. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if everybody else felt like that, but that's what I was carrying.
No, we felt. Look,
I'm saying everybody on your team.
So I know we felt on the other side. It's like, if he wins, we know what it does for them.
For us, yeah. We were
them. And and when I say battle, it was like bro, he coming in, whatever he have left in his tank, he's giving.
Oh yeah, I mean, you know me, I'm gonna compete, bro. Like that.
Sure.
I mean, if I don't have nothing, I'm gonna try to fake it till you know what I'm saying? Like that's just what I do. Yeah. I think that's what made me good is not so much my stuff, it's just me wanting to win, and I'll compete. I'll compete to the end. No matter what, we're fucking playing, doing whatever right now.
Right.
Like I'm not gonna quit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I think that's made me who I am. But it also was a double-edged sword because then shit like that happens.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Where like they come out and you're like, you good? Yeah, I'm good. You ain't fucking good, bro.
Well, it's like but you know what though? But it goes kind of to the eras of the game, right? Because we're cut from that cloth. Like we grew up. Like, bro, you don't quit.
Yeah,
like, whatever you got, bro.
Hand,
like,
bro.
yeah.
Like, you have to come get this. But don't ask me, bro. Come take the ball. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you ask me, I'm always good.
Right.
That was like a game I had against the Astros earlier in that year in 2008. I threw 140-something pitches because Ned Yoskap asked me, am I good? Like, yeah, I'm good.
Right.
I'm good. We were up like 12-0. He left me in the game the whole game.
Right.
Because I kept telling him I'm good. You can't ask me because I'm going to keep telling you I want to be
You're not going to come out.
I'm not.
It's just a whole different breed of guys.
Never going to come out.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. When was the last time you actually saw that video? And I can tell you what it's like on our side because...
The video of the homer?
Yeah, the home run.
I see that shit every year when Shane posts that motherfucker every fucking playoff season. He posts this thing.
Hey, he do post it. I'm not gonna lie. Hey, but I remember, it's kind of like, obviously, you're a little homie, and it's one of those situations like in any situation, I'm pulling for you.
Oh no,
but, no. And it's like, and I got to get you, and it's like I'm celebrating, but it's like, but damn, that's the homie.
But
you know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying? Because you know why?
Like
my homeboys, I want to beat you even more.
No, I want to beat you.
You know what I'm saying?
But it was that moment that like, okay, you gave up, and it was going to everything all the work that you put into that moment.
Yeah.
And it was like you said, at that moment, we knew on our side that was the end of his run here.
And you know what was crazy?
You know what
I remember walking out and seeing your mom and dad after the game, and like she gave me a big hug. She was like, "You did what you could do." You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like, my mom wasn't there. Like, it was your mom, the one that told me, like, it's all right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That
shit
damn,
just gave me goosebumps.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a real moment. Me and your mom and your parents, like, she gave me a hug and she was like, you did whatever you could do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, but yeah, I mean, that was tough.
Yeah.
That was a tough one.
Well, it was.
You made up for it the next year.
The next year, though.
Made up for it the next year. Hey, I ain't gonna lie, bro.
Hey, listen to grown man scream on a that is the worst feeling,
bro.
We've all been there. Listen to grown men scream like little babies. It is such a horrible
I was always the guy that watched the other team celebrate. Too.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Can't help it.
Yeah, I always stood out there and like, wow, I hated that shit, but I couldn't I just couldn't believe.
Take your eyes off of it, like, and it's over. It's over.
You know?
What could I have done differently? Like, what could, and there's nothing that could have happened differently because that's the way it was supposed to happen. Yeah. But you do sit there and you're hearing it and it's hurting and you're letting it, letting yourself feel it. But it's like you're numb at the same time. Your brain is just a million miles per hour and you're feeling this pain. And what's next? Yeah. Everything's over. What's next? And this is how it goes. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But you got your ring, like I said.
You did. Hey, I ain't gonna lie.
You got your ring.
Like in 2009, like Chase obviously came out and had a coming out party on fire.
Matsui.
But then I just remember getting some of the nastiest pitches I ever seen from this man over here, bro. Like,
I
was pissed off. I was like, damn, bro.
He was catching the good slides.
Yeah, I was getting nasty.
So he was
sinkers,
getting nasty shit.
I was getting nasty because Chase was hitting homers. Chase hit that homer. I was like,
yep.
God. I was like, damn. I'm about to get
Hey,
nasty
you know what was
stuff
crazy
now,
in
bro.
game 1? I was feeling like real good. I pitched good. I mean, Cliff just fucking pitched better.
Yeah.
But
Former teammates, by the way.
yeah, we were, and it was crazy because the year before we were teammates.
Teammates,
you
yeah.
know? But I remember like in that game, I was like, oh, like I felt pretty good. Like you know, it's the World Series and all this shit. I always tell the story like I didn't really understand I was in the World Series until I was I threw the last pitch down before the inning starts. They throwing the ball around. A-Rod throws me the ball back. I grab it with my hand and I looked down and it said World Series 09. It said Fall Classic 09. I was like, fuck. Immediately sweating. You know what I'm saying? But it was fine. I got through that first at bat with you and I'm like, oh, okay, like it's good.
Yeah, you good.
It settled in. Throw Chase a slider, he hit that shit off the fuck, and then I'm right back to fucking like I'm, you know
Right.
what I'm saying?
Right
Like I was right back into it. It was crazy.
He made the adjustment against me.
Oh, yeah.
He made it against me, bro. It was
I
nasty.
think what
bro.
happened, he recovered by the time you got up because I tried to
No,
bunt.
it was just
Look, I've never bunt. I'm like, see, the last thing he's gonna expect for me to do is bunt.
Right.
And I got it past I'm like, I'm in and I see Tex ass coming over. I'm like, where you come
made
from?
a great play.
Man,
You know,
I was like, where
always
you come from? And I'm like, if we get him in a stretch, because we know if we get him in a stretch early, because like the greats, when they settle in, it's a wrap. So I'm like, if I'm on base, he has to look at me and deal with Shane, Chase, and Ryan.
Yeah.
That's not easy to do.
Yeah.
It didn't work out. Chase did that thing, but that was I'm like, I just need to get seed mind on what is he going to do, and if he starts spinning some stuff up there, then maybe we have a chance. But it didn't work. I mean, it worked out that day. It didn't work out overall. Ryan, I'm sorry. I didn't mean for him to
that's
throw you
all right,
the
bro.
nasty stuff.
That's all right,
That's
bro.
what I was
What's
getting
crazy
to.
was Damaso Marte.
Man.
He was the World Series MVP. If y'all remember, like he came in and got you and Chase out every time. Every time he came in, like he saved the game for us basically every time. So I mean, I know Matsui went off and he had that great game 6 and all of that stuff, but if you really
game 1 through 6. Yeah.
But if you really go back and look at like who held it down, it was Damaso Marte.
Right.
He had he made some big pitches against you and Chase that series.
That was a good series.
That was,
Unfortunately for the guys in the blue
Y'all
and
had
white.
just won the
blue
year
and white.
before, man.
It don't matter, bro.
And y'all went the year before this.
Man, look, bro.
we was trying to get it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We were trying to be legendary. I mean, y'all, we gave y'all. We didn't give y'all
3
nothing.
years in a row, huh?
No, we lost
we
07. Just two.
Just two.
07, we got moped out by the dang
Rockies.
The Rockies.
Oh, yeah.
And then
07 was the year. I remember sending you that text in 07 before the playoffs started. I sent Jimmy a text. I was like, great regular season. Let's meet up in the World Series.
Yep.
And that was the year he won MVP. I won the Cy Young. And I was like, let's meet up in the World Series. And we ended up getting up 3-1 in Boston and lose. I think we had the better team. We had a better team. If we win that series, we win the World Series.
Yeah.
We ended up.
Everybody, that was us.
Yeah,
that was us in 11.
In 11, yeah.
Even 10, but 11,
man.
we know it's like if we get past, was the Cardinals who they are playoff royalty also. Like they get to the playoffs and they know how to win. We beat they butts all season long.
Yeah.
It's like if we get past this team, nobody can see.
Nobody.
Yeah.
Not we were 102 wins that season. It's like we were that year the best team in baseball.
The staff we had that year,
man.
Ooh-wee.
And we just
couldn't get
do
past
it.
them.
I mean, we're up game 2, up 4 runs and couldn't hold on. It was just they were just a team that don't go away. So I understand that you're the best team if you it's just one series that you know makes a break.
And I wish that like that Cleveland team would have had a chance to stay together like y'all did.
Right.
Because we were on that same path. You know what I mean? But it's just a small market and them not being able to pay any of us. I was traded the next year. But if that crew stays together, then I think we may even make a run where it's like y'all and us, you know what I'm saying? Where it was me, Victor, Grady Sizemore. Like we had a core.
Yeah.
We had a real clique.
Yeah.
We had a real core of guys that came together, but we knew 07 was our only shot.
Right.
Like I never cried so hard that I did in my life after we lost that game 7. Cause I knew it was over. You know what I'm saying? Like I know like I'm not coming, like I'm not signing an extension, I'm not coming back. They're gonna trade me first. You know what I'm saying? And it was me, Casey, Cliff, Vic get traded, like that was the end of it. So, I just wish that we had a chance to kind of build on our run too, and who knows what happens.
Yeah, no, that would have been it. That would have been it. That's a good one. Hey, tell me your favorite Derek Jeter type story.
My favorite.
Any good stories
that you can share.
That you can share, yeah.
That you can share. Let's throw that disclaimer out there.
I got some. I mean, Jeet is super, super superstitious. Like he does the same thing every day.
Really?
Every day. Every day he does the same thing. So one day we were in Kansas City, and y'all been to Peachtree, a soul food restaurant in Kansas City?
I haven't.
Oh my God. I mean, it's heaven on earth. It's the best soul food I ever had in my life. Fried chicken, catfish, greens, everything, mac and cheese, everything. Buffet style, but it's, I mean, family owned, it's legit. So for lunch, I'm like, G, you want to go with me to lunch? I'm like, I'm going to this place, Peachtree. It's a soul food restaurant. He was like, cool, sure. So we always had to stop at Starbucks first. Like I had a rental car. We stop at Starbucks. We go to Peachtree. I mean, this food is so heavy, y'all. Y'all know soul food, right? Like we eat this food and then we both sleeping on the couch, like before the game. Jeet wakes up, goes 5 for 5. 5 hits, like, but like his stomach is hurting. Like he can barely run the bases. Like he's hurting, bro. So I'm like, it ain't no way. Like he, you know, like, cause I know like before every game he eats a peanut butter and honey sandwich. Like, so he does the same thing. So goes 5 for 5 after the game. You know, it's all good. We get back to the hotel. The next morning, he calls me at 11. He was like, you ready to go? I'm like, go where? You know me, I'm 330 pounds. He was like, the Peachtree. I was like, I can't eat that shit again. Lo and behold, we back at fucking Starbucks, back at Peachtree so he can fucking play. Luckily, he didn't get 5 hits again, so we had to go the next day. But yeah, I mean, if he does well, he's gonna do the same exact thing, bro. He does the same exact thing every single day. He would make the peanut butter and honey sandwich, take one bite of it, and throw it in the garbage. Every day. Like it was crazy to watch him do his thing. Wow. And like nobody ever said nothing to him, but we all watched him. You know what I'm saying? Right. But like nobody ever really like made fun of him or
did y'all make fun of him behind his back though?
Nah, I mean it's Derek Jeter. Like whatever you got to do to get ready, get ready. You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
like,
whatever works. Whatever works.
I mean, you know me.
We can edit this. It's okay, bro. You're in a safe space. You're in a safe space.
You know me. I'm gonna say something to his face.
That's what I said.
No, I mean, that's just him, man. The same routine. Same routine.
All right. Before we let you go, see, I want to talk about something that I've admired you, especially in your post career. And it's something that players are taking advantage of now. I've seen it probably first in NBA, but it's building a brand and your brand, who you are, your identity. And, you know, we know your story, going to rehab, picking yourself back up, coming back, and you have just been on a rocket ship from there. Talk to us about, you know, what goes behind, and Ryan, you know, you did this young when you were playing, you know, Mr. Powerade, Mr. Subway, and both of you guys can jump in on this. What goes behind building a brand of yourself?
You want me to be completely honest?
Yeah.
Being good. Being a good player. I think a lot of people forget that that's what gets you to being a brand. You can't be a brand if you ain't on the field. You can't be a brand if you ain't making the All-Star team. You can't be a brand if you ain't win the World Series. Like, I think people look at us and see what we're doing and see, you know, all the places that we get to go and spend our time and do these different things and brands we partner with, but I think they forget about the work we put in. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wasn't a brand until I went to Milwaukee. And did, you know what I'm saying? Came to New York. Like, I think you got to make the main thing, cuz, and don't forget that. And I think people, once you do that, then people will start to see you in another light. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's weird to say that you got to be good at your craft, but I think people forget about that and try to build a brand and forget about the actual stuff on the court, on the field, on the pitch, whatever. But building a brand is about being a good athlete and treating people right. You know what I'm saying? It's and things will come to you.
How do you go about continuing to stay true to yourself in your brand building? Like things that are more organic to yourself?
So I do stuff that's like I would be doing anyway. Like, you know, everybody's like, oh, you working all this stuff. And I'm like, it's not work though. Right. You know what I mean? Like I would be doing this stuff anyway. Like I would be around baseball. I would be, you know, doing these different things in the game, trying to make the game better. I love baseball. Right. You know what I'm saying? When I was still playing, when I was retired, I was like, oh, I'm never going to be around the game. I ain't never going to no baseball. I think we all said that. Yeah. I really love baseball. Like I love the game and I want the game to be in a better place than when we played it. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I mean, all of this stuff is just stuff that I love to do, my passion. You know, I love being around kids. I love, you know, kids that look like me. I love going to the Boys and Girls Club and seeing kids in a situation that I grew up in. So all of these things I think I would be doing if I didn't get paid or if I didn't have a brand. If I wasn't an athlete, I would still be in the community doing these things. So, it's easy to stay on brand when you're passionate about the stuff that comes in your way.
Let's stay on that for a second, like talking about the youth game, right? In terms of looking at what we went through kind of growing up and playing as opposed to what you're seeing now.
Yeah.
Right. And so as you're giving back, what are some of those things that you're seeing, obviously doing things with the Players Alliance and whatnot, that you're seeing just in the growth and the development of players in the game in comparison to what it was when we grew up?
Yeah. That's a great question. And I think the kids are overexposed. I think we played 16 games, guys, when we were kids.
Like, that was a lot.
You know, we played on Tuesdays, and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, we played 16 games. And then you on to the next. If you didn't make the All-Star team, you on to the next thing.
Right.
Like, these kids are playing 16 games in a weekend.
Right.
You know, like it's and I got a 13-year-old right now, and he watches all the perfect game stuff and all these different things, and I'm like, once you put yourself out there, you can't pull it back.
Right.
So I'll keep telling him development over exposure. Like, develop, make sure your game is good, because when these people see you, that's the impression. That's it. You can't change it. So make sure that you're ready and right before you start going to all these different showcases and all this stuff. Make sure that you got the development thing right. And I think a lot of these parents need to understand that it's development over exposure.
Right.
Your kid needs to be ready. There's a million places we can put him on the internet to be seen,
Right.
but he better be ready, because these are the numbers that they're going to run with. Once he runs the 60 and throws a ball across the diamond, that shit is on that fucking site forever.
But how do we get those parents to understand? We played, so we understand what it takes and what it was.
I don't think the parents are ever
but
going to understand that.
I mean, how do you try to figure that out?
Because everybody thinks their kid is the next Anthony Volpe.
Right.
And who's to say that he's not?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And these organizations are going to take advantage of, paying to play. Kind of is what it is. And what sucks is that the scouts have bought into it, right? So now the scouts ain't coming to NCNL to see you play. They're not coming to Vallejo to see you play.
They just going to the showcases.
They're going to showcases.
If you don't make it to Atlanta in the middle of the summer, they're not going to see you.
Yeah.
And they don't want to see you in your hometown talent. They don't want to see you in your high school field or against your high school talent. They want to see you against the top arms.
Right.
So that's kind of where we are too, where it's not lazy scouting, it's smarter scouting.
Right.
Where if I know the top 300 kids are going to be in Atlanta,
why chase them around the country?
Why am I chasing them around? Right. And I get to see them against the best competition.
Yeah.
So
I've seen that because obviously, like, my son's now is 23. So I was there, I was in it, the whole perfect game thing, and just watching how these kids go about doing what they do. And I felt like when I was helping coach his team at the time, I was like, man, this stuff is different. Like, it doesn't seem like these kids are about truly going out here and winning the game and playing the game the right way to win the game. It was more about, all right, let me see how much I can light up the radar gun.
Yeah,
and let me get my 2 hits. And that's it. I don't care if we win or not, as long as the scouts see that I got hits.
They all showcase
That's
kids.
it.
You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of those kids in the big leagues.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I was talking about.
It's only going to increase. It's only going to increase.
Yeah.
It's only going to increase, yeah.
Especially when the showcase is throw the ball as hard as you can from the outfield. Throw the ball across the diamond as hard as you can. Like, a lot of these kids don't know they can't hit the cutoff man.
Right.
Because they do showcase, they throw the ball from way over here in right field to fucking third base on the fly. That's cool.
Right.
But that shit ain't going to fly in a game, cuz. Like, a lot of these kids don't have game experience.
Right.
And that's where a lot of the baseball IQ is out the window. And then in the big leagues, you don't have nobody over 35.
Right.
There's no vets.
Right.
Like, when we got to the big leagues, bro, we had
grown men. Straight grown men.
It was grown men in our clubhouse to teach us how to fucking be big leaguers.
Yep.
You don't have that no more, cuz. So the game is super athletic. It's a different game that we played. But I don't think fundamentally is up to par to the game that we played.
I appreciate you, C. We'd be remiss if we didn't thank you for what you've done. We're sitting here on this podcast today because of you. And I say that because, we had a sit-down conversation when your son went to Georgia Tech. I'm like, see, you got time for lunch? My first question is like, after we get by the pleasantries, like, bro, what are you doing? Like, we sit on the opposite side of MLB. What are you doing? And you sat there and you put it eloquently, basically, like, Rob cool as shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, Rob cool as shit. Like, he real cool. Yeah. And I'm like, that's cool, but what are you doing? And you explained it to me. And I'm like, I got a better sense of what it's like to, from our side, being a player, it's like we're crossing the line. But that's not it. Then I got to be able to speak to Raul and ask him, what was he doing? What was it like? Help me understand it, because we're just trained as players. We don't associate with that other side. But here we are in MLB offices on this podcast. So that's one thing to, say thank you for. But two, I know I bugged you like hell, but the Commissioner's Ambassador Program, Cap, once I knew what you were doing, once I knew what Rob was doing, Raul was doing, I'm like, hey, you gotta tell Rob I mentioned and doing something out here on the West Coast. And I thought it was just going to be regional based. And I stayed on you, and you was like, bro, I'm on a plane with Rob right now. I'm going to tell him. I'm like, are you really going to tell him? Like, I'm going to tell him. It got down to Dan came down to an owner's meeting. I would not have done any of those things if it wasn't for the little big homie. You know what I'm saying? like come down to San Diego. Can you make it? I'm like, I'll be there. We sat in that room with Dan, Rob, yourself, Raul. And here we are with the Commissioner's Ambassador Program. This podcast, doing great things, bringing former players, retired players back into the game, trying to expand the game, what you're doing with Boardroom. Like we have brought up the brand, like C's really a brand.
He is really a brand.
Like he is a brand. He has weight in this office.
I have to give my wife the credit for that, though. I think Amber is a driving force behind, I know, a driving force behind a lot of the stuff I do. So I would be remiss if I didn't give her props.
Thank you, Amber.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Sabathia. So, C, we appreciate you coming out today, man.
Yes, sir.
Always big homie.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Rye, wrapping up F1. Great way to do it with a guy that we beat, then he beat us.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But more than anything, just, a pioneer and how things can be after your career is done. So appreciate you coming here today.
Yes, I appreciate it.
Yes, sir.